Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome back to our YouTube chit chat once again. Guys, the shocking court fees, Gintu laments and outcry so loudly that we couldn't really imagine. Anesto has just sued Iammarwa's family on issues of land to court. So these are the two issues that are making the spotlight into our desk today. So guys, I want to unravel the effects of these issues. Why Gintu had to come and cry? Because there is importance and timing of that outcry. There is a meaning that Gintu wanted to pass out the information mainly to his audience. There is what Gintu is looking for. Anesto also at this moment wants to look this issue because there is a message that he wants also to put across. Because he's saying that he's not a very happy man and it is a demand letter that is supposed to be served to the Iammarwa's family. And as we speak, Anesto is not within the village. Anesto has come back to safety, saying that it's being looked or sought up by the police. It's the same question that we want to ask Anesto. Why are you running? Why are police looking for you and for what reasons? Guys, if you're coming across this channel for the very first time, kindly click on the notification bell so that whenever I upload a video, YouTube shall notify you instantly. To my loyal subscriber, may God bless you abundantly. So let's dive in after the break. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our YouTube chit chat. My name is Inazak and this is my YouTube channel. So let's dive in straight away lest we forget. So guys, as we speak to now, Gintu came out and started lamenting and crying loudly about the court fees that is so exorbitant. It's even insinuated that he would have finished his G Castle long time were it not for these court fees. And he is even quoted when he was lamenting that that is the limitation and the repercussions of the court case itself is really daunting on him, that he couldn't even do the charity, he couldn't even settle. You know, so these are the things that we wanted to look at, and these are the effects of the case. You know, most of the time when we come here and we'll tell them that you really don't know the issues of defaming, the issue of stalking, such that you will be cheered to doing all this kind of heinous act. Then when push come to shove, therefore you come out crying the way Gintu has just exhibited and crying out loud. You know, I kept listening to him because sometimes it's so hard even to listen to Gintu. It will take you to grasp what Gintu is saying so that you lay it here bare. That is what really I did, and I captured the information rightfully. Perhaps I want you to watch it keenly. Read between the lines and grasp what Gintu is saying. If you don't hear, then I will be of helpful, then I will put everything into perspective in as far as the gist is concerned.
Conditions to apply and make sure that everything gonna be coming out. So don't worry about that one. Still, the case is pregnant. We are just expecting, and it's gonna be coming to the lactation time whenever we're gonna be milking. So at that kind of the moment, I can talk about keep it tuned, keep it locked. It's gonna be coming to you one-on-one at that kind of the point whenever it reaches a bit longer. Squeeze a bit longer, and we're gonna be sorting much of the matters east, west, and south. We understand, and a bit I can just talk about it has seen for me a lot of money, but that's nature. And also you have to give the nature. You have to give the surrounding. That's how the life is, and I understand from the way of always they talk about if you are an investor, you are a risk taker. That's normal. That's normal, and also that's why we have this kind of the stations talk about organizations. Also, we have this kind of the places of the government that you can just go and be tuned, and you can hang your boots there a bit and talk about. Everything is nature, so we have to accommodate how the nature is nurturing us, and that's why you can just talk about why is somebody getting to the toilet and turns back and look at the door. You can now understand what it means. From this kind of the position, I can just talk about we are going much more things that will just make you to have a negative impact at your own background. I understand I have used a lot of money. I talk about the lawyering, talk about whatever, a lot of money in terms of getting this kind of the things to move, but we thank the living God. He's teaching us on more and more and more. It's not only Gintu, we are on it, and I said it that somebody don't discriminate Gintu, don't talk about Gintu, this is how it's gonna be. Yeah, this is how it is, in a way that we are learning. Everybody, this is your first time in this world, and it's not my second time, it's not your second time, so everybody's learning. We are in a learning class, we are bureaucrating. You are in the YouTube also, and I understand how great they are, how great supportive they are, how we're gonna be making it happen, and that's what is making other people to feel like, why is Gintu in this kind of the manner? I understand myself, and I pick myself the way I am, and I understand what I can just peep at this kind of the moment, and I can use brain upon whatever has to be used, the brain. And also at the end of the time, I understand there is a breadwinner at the end of every circus, every a tournament, every game has a winner, and if there's no winner, there is a goal, which is only occurring at the soccer. So we don't know this kind of the case. Is a soccer? Is it volleyball? Is it whatever? So we have it to go, and that's why I can come out and say that only things that are going to be getting forward, they have to understand it. I could have already finished the GCAS. I'm telling you that as fact. But support Gintu. I will not talk about Gintu. I will just talk about this has happened this way, or I find myself talking about I don't see this kind of the world gonna be enough, or I'm gonna not see this kind of the world gonna be this way. It's about of an emotional way of handling much of the matters. If it could be another person, maybe this kind of the people, guys, I'm telling that as a fact, and whoever want to take it to the bank can take it to the bank, in a way that if it could be another person who was subjected to whatever Gintu has been subjected into at this kind of the moment, because of
and I'm acutely sure you people have really listened so hard for you to get what Gintu is saying. In a nutshell, I just really want to do a summary. Gintu is simply saying that the case is too much alive. That's why it's referring that the case is too much pregnant. It's expecting, and very soon they will be lactating, which means the case is well and alive, too much pregnant that very soon it will give a birth. And the birth at the end that Gintu is expecting is the lactation, and this lactation is what now means it will be a reprieve for him. On the other hand, it's crying too much of time wastage and too much of spending into court in as much as court fees, more so when hiring lawyers. The lawyers' fees itself so exorbitant. On the other hand, something that I felt so an irony, Gintu has took it up and even started appreciating that were it not for YouTube, there is family on the YouTube, and the people who are helping him to pay that fees, and he's telling people that please do not leave him, do not leave me. He cannot fathom. If it were other people might have committed, and this is what Gintu is lamenting about. Did I hear Gintu appreciating the YouTube? And who really introduced YouTube to its Gintu? The same person whom Miss Gintu has been stalking and talking all ill of mannered things against. You know, this is the time that Gintu has decided to know that YouTube has got family that can really help him. That is an irony in itself. You know, these are the things that when Iammarwa even spoke about it, you know, Gintu have tried to solicit funds to coach up the false witness, which in turns have never turned up to court. You know, this is in the advisory of the Gintu's lawyer because they wanted to fabricate all these kind of things. That's why Gintu is crying that the money that is getting, all of it is going to court. Imagine this is only one case that he's facing. There are several cases aligned. That's why if you see Gintu sending people and dispatching emissaries to Iammarwa's compound to talk to Iammarwa so that Iammarwa could forgive him. You look at Gintu, Gintu is so overwhelmed. You look at Gintu, that erotic behavior, that strong man with the wide chest that he is being described out here by A.M. Carroll. That alone cannot help him because the financial muscle Gintu doesn't possess. The only muscle that Gintu is having is the muscles of the chest. Whether that one will outwit Iammarwa's lawyers in the court, it is what we are still waiting to see. You know, that is the repercussion when Iammarwa was telling them, wait until you have served court papers, wait until you present it to court, wait until you coach all manner of things in the false statement, and these people don't turn to court is when you'll see. Gintu has just cried. Why is Gintu crying? Gintu is crying when Gintu was petting in the house, and Gintu have seen all the financial muscle that he was having has already melted down, and the house is still at that stage very far. So, and the Gintu also thinking in the line of the cases that really draining his finances, Gintu started ranting. What was Gintu up to? Gintu was up to donation. People donated to him so that the house could be helped. Gintu was also using one stone to beat two birds. One, he wants a court fee, he wants house to be built. The donation doubled. So Gintu was just playing sympathy. Gintu presented himself as a vulnerable man he is for such kind of donation to come its ways. There is it. It's got, you know, sometimes when I come here and I speak to them when it comes to matters law, and I tell them, they will come and dispute. In fact, they will even send their supporters to abuse me, to send me messages. You know, most of them, and most of them have even blocked because others descend low. Most of them also send bots to come and abuse me. And what I normally do is to block them. So sometimes when you are told and when you want to rant in this YouTube street, think before you talk. Examine what you want to say and make sure to whom are you saying it to and what is the repercussion after uttering such particular kind of words. So measure it. Now you see, it is a big problem. And I was like, really? What is happening with Gintu? Ladies and gentlemen, on the other hand, there is Anesto also with a court document that is yet to serve Iammarwa. Family with it. This is because Anesto's parent sold land to the Iammarwa's family. These are the land that was sold long time ago. You know? Plus the current one that they sold. The document itself has got a lot to be discussed. You know, this young man, I look at him, then I sympathize with him big time because there are forces that are pushing him in the wrong direction. You know, perhaps before I talk too much, let's listen to Anesto and what Anesto demands
are. I was just telling you that I was just seeking for the letter that demand later illegally sale of the inherit land, and that's what I was just doing. You can have a clear look from Ernest Chacha John. That is my full name, guys. That is how I'm being called, Ernest Chacha John. John is my father's name, and Ernest is just my name. So I just want to show you that I'm just serious on this. And what I'm sure is that one time I'll be successful. You can have a care, guys. Demand letter, illegal sale of inherit land from Ernest Chacha. What I believe, for me, what I believe. If there is something that I'm just if there is something that I'm just demanding, and I'm right to say that, you know, even God is in my side. Even God is in my side, guys. If I decided that I have to do it, and I can do it, nothing can push me down. I believe, even if I don't have money, I just believe that one day, one time, our land will be back. Our land will be back. You know, guys, sometimes I just become sometimes, guys, I just become very sad. The station is just going in the village. In the station is just going in my family, and not only my family, even in the village. The villagers are being taken. I don't know like what. The villagers, they're just being taken like idiots. That even this, there is nothing that can happen. Even they can do anything. There is nothing that it can happen, because of their own money. Some people will come out here saying that Anesto is just jealousy.
Getting into specific laws that governing the land succession, and also the laws of inheritance in Kenya, let's go straight to this letter and we dissect the letter. The letter speaking of, or speaking to, demand of illegally sold inherited land from Ernesto John Chacha. Well, who is the owner of the land? Who sold the land? As we speak, Ernest has never sold the land. That is, Ernesto has never sold the land to anybody. As we speak, Anesto does not own any land legally. As we speak, the land in question, this is the land that belonging to Ernest's father and the custodian, the Ernest granddad and the custodian as the father. Therefore, who has got right to press charges? Is it Ernesto or Ernesto father? In fact, it is Ernesto father. The fathers. Not even one father, the fathers. Because as we speak, the land itself has got no specific title deed. It has got one vast title deed that was left by the forefathers. Are we getting together? Therefore, the heading, or what is contained of the heading that is from Anesto, Anesto is demanding heir, because there is no land that Anesto is demanding. Because the land is not in your name. The land belongs to your grandfather, and the grandfather is the dad to your father, who is now the custodian. Is Anesto allowed to seek inheritance when the father is still alive? According to inheritance law and law of succession itself, it is not Yes, time. It's time barred because the father itself is alive. Unless the father writes a will and an agreement that as we speak now, I'm old and I want to secede particular kind of land and parcels to the various family, and that one has never happened. And this kind of agreement must be written in front of a local custodian, maybe of a chief, written, and the chief becomes a witness. Do Anesto have such? Anesto has got nothing, therefore Anesto is chasing air. I want Anesto to listen to me carefully. Therefore, what Anesto is looking for is chasing the wild goose chase, and which at the end is tantamount to what we call the hot air. Has got no meaning, but it's only to disturb the court. First of all, there was no land that was sold illegally. The land was sold in the presence of chief, who was the witness, and the signatory and the custodian of the same land was the father who signed it, and the mother who signed it. Therefore, Anesto has got no right as we speak, because the two of the parents are available and there. Therefore, he cannot press charge on their behalf. These people are sane, and that's why the chief was present to assess them, that these people are fit, they are not drunk, therefore they signed. And the chief also wrote a letter, and the letter was deposited to the land registrar so that the title deed could be adjunct from the main, or could be equipped from the main title. So what Anesto is looking for is just by fun play. By fun play. There is something I want to explain to you here. And this guy sometimes must also spare people time so that you stop playing with people's emotion. I want to tell you something here. You know, the only right that Anesto could be having, you have a right to request and also demand for your inheritance. And your inheritance lies on the hands of your parents. Your parent can even refuse to give you inheritance because it's not mandatory. The place that when mandatory is when your parents, all of them, are deceased. And when they are deceased, it doesn't come automatically, which means even if they're deceased, you still need to go to court and press charges against your parents who are no longer living, who are deceased, so that you tell the court, the person XYZ and ABC were my parents, biological parents, and this is documentation to approve that, and the parcel land 1, 2, 3, 4 belonged to them. Therefore, I need to be conferred the ownership of this land 1, 2, 3, 4 on my name. Then the court will pronounce itself as per your plea, in as far as the succession and inheritance law is concerned. Therefore, they will confer that kind of property to your name. The property or probate administrator. These are the things that this young man, somebody sits somewhere and using this guy. My friend, you're being controlled by a remote. The issue won't seek the light. In fact, the letter itself, how it's drafted, 0. On a technical ground, that thing is 0. It will never work. So in Kenya's jurisdiction, the Kenya law applies. The Kenya inheritance law applies. It's there. And it has got very many chapters and speaking to those issues that I've spoken to. Secondly, the ownership. Who's owning the land? Anesto does not own the land. Anesto's father is the one who is the custodian of that land. The title deed is still in Anesto's grandfather. Therefore, Anesto can claim nothing, because if we look in the line of succession, the person who was conferred that power to be the custodian was Anesto's father, not Anesto. So therefore, Anesto in line will only be eligible when the father is deceased, and also when the father has written a note that I'm leaving everything to Anesto. There's no such kind of a document unless Anesto wants to delete the father to take that. That's a dangerous trajectory. Then, secondly, if there is family dynamics and inheritance law, the family dynamics is, for example, they've agreed that our son Anesto will be the custodian, though I'm the father, and then therefore I want to confer the custodianship of this land to Anesto. That one has never happened. The inheritance law, it depends on how they agreed in their family, and any agreement or consent. What's the consent? That everything, that land was conferred to Anesto. So your father, that is the property of your father. He can decide to sell it. He can decide to give even your sister, not to you. He can decide even to give your aunt, not to you. What stand is the agreement? He can decide to bypass you. So long as if your father didn't see that you're not fit to own it. So in Kenya, Law of Succession Act is well alive. But if Anesto wanted to do a genuine case, or which its case itself, for it to win, is a negligible of negative 0.1%, which means it's null. That's null. It cannot. There are three factors that Anesto must consider. You have to go and review the sale document. Was there the sale document by the time when your dad was selling the land to the nearest families? Was there the sale agreement? Yes. What was the term? This is what court will want, the sale agreement, which means the land was never sold illegally. The sale agreement. So sale agreement, they will need to look at the terms that was used. Was it favorable? The cost of the land favorable? Who are the signatories vis-a-vis your petition or your prayers? Number two, determine your legal standing. You know, when you review is when you ask yourself a question: do I stand a chance to win? Do I stand a chance to claim? And that's why I'm telling you, you don't stand any chance to claim any land because your father is still alive. Your father sold the land in the presence of the chief, who was the witness, signed. All this was anticipatory, which means the chief also is going to be tagged and said what. By the time you are signing this documentation, who was present? Your dad was present, the mother was present, the elder brother was present. So that's the elder brother. So you want to bypass your elder brother. You see the technicality, the things that Anesto is using. So somebody who's advising you must be a quack, doesn't understand the law. You also must explore potential causes of action. After you've seen and decided that perhaps you don't have a legal standing, therefore the possible legal ops of action. Or maybe you said, okay, now because my father is selling land left and right, so what I can do is, us as the children, we can go and put a caveat and put a caution to that land so that to prevent the further selling of the land. But this one has taken away. This one, the train has left the station and has left you with your tongue wagging. Wait for the next train. This one you have got to know that the only antidote is to go and put caution, go and put caveat, so that when your father or your brother who wants to sell a land will never sell a land, but with the wrongly written letter. That alone is a technicality itself, and the person who advised you, if he's a lawyer, that person must be a quack. That person must be wanting to eat your money. So guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. Until next time, this is your boy Senior Zach.